Hi, my name is Amy Marson, and today I want to tell you what's in my craft bag. Now, this is my craft bag. I got it from Becky Goldsmith. Don't tell anybody about this word right there. Shh, it's our secret. Okay, so what's in my craft bag? Well, first I use these awesome little zipper pouches, and I keep everything in them. I have my little needle case, which I embroidered and made myself. It's really easy to do. It's just 2 pieces of felt, and then I have all my needles and pins in here. The other thing I have is my scissors, and these scissors are wonderful for embroidery because they have a serrated edge right here, and that edge grabs either wool that you're cutting or the floss or the pearl cotton that you're cutting. And they have the safety feature of having this case, and these are okay to bring on an airplane because from here to here is less than 4 inches. So this is a great pair of travel scissors because it can cut your fabric and it can cut your floss. The next thing I have in my bag are some marking tools, and I have 2 different marking tools. One is just a regular pencil that I use on light fabric, and the other is a chalk pencil that I use on dark fabrics. And most of the time I'm stitching on a dark fabric, so I really like the chalk pencil for that. I always keep safety pins because I use the safety pins if I'm doing wool applique. I can pin down my pieces. And then I keep the little wrappers that floss come in case I need to buy more floss, because I only buy 1 piece at a time. So what else do I have in my bag? The last thing I have in this little one is a needle threader. This little teeny thing is a needle threader, and then it can cut as well, cut the threads. So I use that too. So what else do I have in here? I have my new favorite book, the Embroidery Stitching Handy Pocket Guide by Kristen Brown. And I take this with me everywhere I go. So if I'm embroidering in the car or I'm embroidering on an airplane, which are the 2 places I usually do my stitching, I've got this with me. And this is a great little product because she talks about everything from giving you 30 stitch combinations, I'll show you the table of contents right here, to talking to you about what fabrics are better to embroider on, whether or not to use a stabilizer, the different kinds of threads you can use, and then all the different stitches. So it's a great resource, and I carry it with me everywhere now. And I was really excited because I got this early, so don't tell anyone. So the next thing I have in my bag is an extra piece of fabric in case I get stuck somewhere or I'm inspired to stitch something at a moment's notice. Now, I like Oakshott Cotton, and I want to tell you why. Oakshott Cotton has 1 color of thread going one way, so on this one you can see it's this aqua thread, and then it has another color of thread going the other direction, which is this dark blue. And what that does is it creates this really rich texture so that when you're embroidering on it, not only are you getting the threads that you're putting in, but you're also getting the depth from the piece of fabric. So I always carry a piece of Oakshott Cotton in my bag. What else do I have in here? I have wool. So I like to do organic wool applique, and on that piece behind me there, that's one that I did last December, and I just brought scraps of wool and I appliqued them down. And then I always save my leftover scraps because you never know what you might need them for. So I always carry a scrap bag of wool, and as you can see, I like the vibrant, bright colors. The next thing I have, my embroidery floss, and so sometimes I use floss and sometimes I use pearl cotton. Each one has their purposes. I feel like the floss is great if you have large, smooth surfaces, and the pearl cotton is great if you want to have a lot of depth to your stitching. And I use primarily DMC floss, which is great and it's affordable, and I frequently almost always I use a variegated color. I don't use a solid color because I like the different colors that it creates, and I feel like it adds more interest to the piece. And then the last bag I have is once I've started stitching and I take the wrapper off the pearl cotton. Some people wrap the floss onto cards, and I use one of these mini little safety clips, clothespins, and then I just hook it onto my floss. And you can also do it and have the wrapper hooked in there as well. And then this way I know which colors I've already used. So I have a bag for colors I haven't used yet and a bag for the colors I have used. And then let's see, is there anything else in here? I feel like Mary Poppins. The last thing I have are my glasses that I use for embroidery, because when you're doing work that's really close, it's nice to have a really good pair of magnifying glasses that you can use to make sure that your stitches look really good. So that's everything in my little bag, and I want to thank you for checking out what I have in my bag, and check out my other videos on YouTube. Thank you.